Hi, my name is Alvin and I ran a sub 3:15 marathon at the LA 2023 marathon. Ran this marathon about 3 times before this, one time being in 2020, then 2021, and then 2022. 2020, I finished a time of 3 hours and 59 minutes, just making the 4-hour mark. The second time really just bonking and hitting the wall and finishing with a time of 4 hours and 30 minutes. And then the third time was just last year, finishing a time of 3 hours and 43 minutes. This time around, I thought about it and I thought I should take this a little bit more seriously in terms of training and nutrition. And so I went online, looked up some YouTubers, looked up some training plans, and basically took what they had and just tailored it towards my personal preference, my lifestyle, and how it would fit my schedule. Totaled out to be around 8 weeks of training. So put that together and then I executed it and then I finished the time. Throughout the run, I had 2 shoes, 1 trainer, one being the New Balance 880 V12s. Those are very cushiony, very squishy, but very comfortable. They're really good for trainers in my opinion and are great for easy runs and long runs. And then my race day shoes or my speedwork shoes are the Adidas Pro 3s. I rarely use those shoes. I only use those for mainly race day or just breaking it in or my dress rehearsal. Those are my shoes. And then in terms of shirt and pants, very generic pants and t-shirt, nothing special there. And then I wore also my Shocks earphones, hooks. So here is my training plan. Green means that I've met the criteria, and then yellow means that it was partially met. You'll notice that after each week, I'm slowly ramping up the mileage, sitting around the upper 50s and eventually the lower 60s. Each week consisted about, I want to say 4 easy runs, and then a hill workout on Wednesdays, a lactate threshold workout, and a speed day workout. You will notice that my long run and these speed workouts are on the weekend. Not ideal, given that a speed workout right after a long run is pretty brutal on the body, but my weekends are probably the most, free in terms of time, and also the tracks were open at the time. I use a public school track, so ideally those 2 were the only 2 days that I thought worked out for me. Easy runs for me were anywhere below a 150 BPM, and the purpose of this was really to build up my aerobic base and build up my endurance and improve my overall aerobic capacity so that I could last longer on longer runs. And then of course, the easy runs are for mainly also recovery days. You'll see throughout this whole training sheet that there are technically no rest days for me, which means no running days. I've been on a running streak for a while now, and I just made my 1-year mark of running every day, and so you'll notice this training plan kind of has no days where I just don't run. For hill workouts, those are on Wednesdays. Basically, I would go up the hill 4 times and then recovery jog back down. The hill workouts for me were intended to help my running form and maintain it. Just finished my hill sprints. It was definitely a new experience and a really tiring one, so I can continue on working my legs on these hills. There's a lot more benefits of hill workouts, but I found this workout benefit to be most beneficial for me. And then Thursdays, you'll notice I'll have a medium long run, 8 miles with 3 miles at lactate threshold pace. The usual workout I do on these days are I start off with the 2-mile warm-up, and then I do 1-mile repeats of lactate threshold pace. So 2 miles and then 1 mile at lactate threshold pace, and then 1 mile recovery, and then 1 mile lactate threshold, and then recovery, and then lactate threshold final one, and then recovery. Just finished my lactate threshold workout, finishing up the last cool down mile. To me, these workouts were actually the most brutal on me. I always ended the workout pretty out of gas and just wheezing. As you run more at this pace, you're constantly pushing that threshold of lactate up so that you can, allow your body to hold more and last longer and build up that endurance when you're running at that pace. And so I try to include one of these workouts per week. I think this is the last threshold workout. Pretty tiring this time, but wanted to end on a good spree. On Fridays, you'll notice that those are just easy runs. These are, I want to say, my main recovery runs prior to the Saturday that goes to, the long runs. These long runs I try to take at easy pace. Once in a while, I would factor in some marathon pace in there. And also during these long runs, I would try out different gels. I tried out the goo gels as well as the Morton gels. I found Mortons to be my preference. They're slightly on the expensive side, but to me the consistency was the best. I like gels that don't make me go bleh. I also tried these goo gels today. The last one didn't sit well on my stomach. It kind of felt like throwing up. I remember, I guess, which week was it? I think it was probably the 18 mile on week 4 where I just felt destroyed. I think it's because of mainly the nutrition the day before or the week throughout. I just felt super dehydrated and weak. I'm so tired today. But yeah, after a long run here, the 18 mile, that in the track workout, I switched it up. I didn't do these repeats like I usually do. Repeats are a lot more intense on the body, and I think that day I was just destroyed. So instead of my usual repeats I do my 2 workouts, I switched it up today and went with the 400 meter intervals. That was fine. I think it's good to be flexible in your training plan. Don't get injured, that's number 1. And then entering my taper, we'll go into that. So at this time, actually, I also bought a book called Advanced Marathoning. I was reading it and then I just skipped to the taper section of the workout or the book. And so I read it and gained a lot of knowledge in terms of how to taper, how to recover well, and make sure my body is well recovered for race day. Overall, the taper was nice. it was a nice break to recover from all the brutal workouts throughout the past few weeks I did. And then basically I lowered my mileage. The first week, I think you're supposed to lower it by 60%. Don't quote me on that. The second week of taper, even more. I know some people taper for 3 weeks, but 2 weeks is fine too. So I chose the 2-week taper. Basically the last week was a lot of easies, and then on Wednesday, I put in some strides just to make sure that my body is still maintaining the intensity, but at the same time lower the mileage. 2 days before the race day, on the Friday, there's a dress rehearsal. These dress rehearsals are meant to make sure your gear fits your needs, or you're basically accustomed to whatever you're wearing on race day, so nothing out of the ordinary pops up. I plan to use 5 gels for the race, and so I decided to I bought these new pants. I forgot to mention that. Basically, I had a pocket on the right side, inside of my right pocket. That's where I put my phone, and then I had 2 normal pockets and then 1 zipper pocket on the back. Got these new pants, basically like these 2-in-1s. Put my cell phone in there, and I got a zipper. I could fit 5 gels. So the plan was to put my phone on my right inside pocket, and then hopefully I tried out putting 3 gels in that pocket as well, and then 2 gels on the back zipper pocket. When I went on the dress rehearsal, the moment I stepped out and started running, I want to say about 10 yards, my pants started to fall, and that was it. I thought, okay, we're not going to do that. So throughout the run, I think I decided just to hold gels, at least 3 gels in my hand. So make sure you get your dress rehearsals. Those are important, or you know, you don't know what will happen. Dress rehearsal. I have my Adidas, 3 gels, pants, shirt. So I thought I could fit 3 or 4 gels in my right pocket, but as soon as I started running, my pants started to slip. So now I realize that it's not possible. Well, it might be possible. Next day, shakeout run, basically an easy 5K. Make sure I'm well rested. Picked up my bib and went to sleep pretty early, carved up. I always have these Korean spicy seafood noodle as well as the fried pork. If you're Korean, that's game changer. To me, those always work out. This is the final shakeout run, 24 hours out. Just kind of get out the nerves. But early morning run today, just 3.1 5K run, just to shake out all the jitters. Let's go. I did decide to do a negative split where I would take the first half marathon at around 140 and then hopefully hitting sub 135 in the second half marathon. In terms of nutrition, take gels at 4 to 5 miles. I think I took Morton first, and then caffeinated goo, Morton, goo, Morton. I tried to alternate between these gels so that I don't get sick of any of the taste.
Good morning. Today is the morning of the race day. Got some good solid sleep for around 4 hours, so not bad. Making my coffee as of now. Took a poo-poo. That went well. Got some bread ready for my breakfast. I'm still kind of full from yesterday's dinner, so I'll probably eat my bread when I park my car, and then around 30 minutes to an hour I'll be taking a gel. But other than that, I'll see you guys at the parking lot.
I essentially got there around 5:10. It was pretty early. Race starts at 7, and so I had plenty of time just to stand around and even just use the porta potties. And I had to pee twice and poo once. Erred on the conservative side to make sure that I let everything out before actually starting the race. The race started right off the bat. I already had the urge to go pee. Might be the jitters, but whatever. I kind of held it, hoping that it would just die off or kind of fade away as I ran.
Just to shake out all the jitters.
But had to go pee at mile 8. Stepping back a little bit, at mile 4, I did see the 3 hour and 20-minute group. There are pacers spread out, so 3:10, 3:20, 3:30, and onwards. I wanted 3:15, but I made sure that I followed the 3:20 first to make that negative split strategy. But I think I started off kind of strong or feeling good. And so at mile 4, when I saw the 3 hour, 20-minute group, I thought they were kind of slow for me, so I kind of just casually ran past them. So I was ahead of them, and then went pee at mile 8, and then noticed them catching up to me. But again, I thought their pace was kind of slow, so I ran past them. It was around this time where I saw Matthew Choi. He is a influencer / YouTuber. And then I saw him, gave him a fist pump, saying, I was pretty nervous, and this is all running, by the way. So I was pretty nervous, and then I was basically thinking, what should I say to him? So I went up to him, gave him a fist pump, and said, Matthew Choi, you're inspiring. So it was very awkward. I think I meant to say inspirational, but because it was such a mouthful at the time and I was running at the same time, I decided just to go inspiring.
It's okay.
But he was really chill about it. He was very nice, and he thanked me, and we moved along with our race and continued on. As I kept running, I was around mile 11 and 12. He was always behind me, but at 11 and 12, for some reason, my phone decided to pop out of my inner pocket of my pants, hit the ground, and started sliding. And then all the spectators around me, I heard a loud "oh" or "ooh." So it was kind of embarrassing, but at the same time, I was like, I just gotta pick it up and keep running. And so I just tried to avoid the embarrassment. So I tried to pick it up as quick as possible while not slowing down my pace. But that was kind of not a good idea, but at the same time, I didn't know what to do. So I was running, bent down, tried to pick it up, but because it was flat on the floor, it was very hard to grab while running. And so I tried grabbing it the first time, but I slipped, and essentially I was wobbling and started stuttering, and eventually I had to put my palms down and then start doing a quick bear crawl, trying to avoid, just straight up just eating it. But eventually I was able to gain my balance, pick up the phone, and then keep running. And then I heard in the back of me a sound, "You good?" And I turned around, and it was Matt Choi. So it was very embarrassing in front of him, but at the same time, I thought it was a good, story to tell to people. But overall, I thought it was a funny experience and kind of embarrassing experience. But at the same time, that was actually when I started to feel my groove in terms of running. So my pace started to pick up. I started to think, all right, I think I could do this. I think I could make that sub 3 hour 15 mark. And I was looking at my watch. Basically, I was hitting the pace times around 7:27, 7:28. Would also go up and down to 7:30s on inclines. But essentially, I was following the plan. I was going by my strategy in terms of negative splitting, and eventually I think I did hit 140 at the half marathon mark. And so I still felt good at that time, and then I kept running. I think, of course, and then the second half of the half marathon, I started negative splitting. At mile 18 or so, I actually saw another influencer or a YouTuber. He goes by Billy Yang. I saw him as a spectator. He wasn't a runner, but he was there at the LA Marathon. I basically said, "Billy, I love your videos." And I think I heard him say, "Good job," or "Looking good," and that was it. And then mile 20 came, so I was kind of scared that I might hit the wall again, but I made sure that I was taking my gels frequently and made sure that I'm pacing myself properly so I don't hit that wall. And I started passing people, and normally during this time, this is when people pass me because I'm the one that hit the wall. So this time passing people actually felt good. I know it sounds, looking down on people or condescending, but to me, it was very nice being on the other side this time. 20 miles beyond that, I was always trying to look for people to, run with internally. I don't go up to them and talk to them. I just run next to them and try to match their pace or have them match my pace and kind of, spur each other on in terms of making that whatever goal time we were trying to make. And there was one guy where I actually tried saying sub 3:15, but he kind of I think he was tired. He was like, and then I think eventually he fell off, or he kind of disappeared behind me. I was doing that for the remainder 10K of the marathon, just to make sure I got any inspiration as much as possible. At mile 25, my watch buzzed, and I got the notice. But I noticed that on the course, the LA Marathon course, the 25-mile banner wasn't up, but I didn't see it. So I thought, okay, this might be bad because my watch may be wrong or logged me a little bit sooner. So I had to do some math here. Eventually I saw the 25-mile banner. Okay, I may not make it at this point because I was already at 3:10. But at the same time, I was like, okay, I guess I didn't make it. I didn't make that, sub 3:15 mark for the LA Marathon course. But I think for the distance-wise, for the 26.2-mile distance, I did do a 3 hour and 14-minute time. So I don't know. I personally accept it because I was aiming for a sub 3:15 marathon. course was, I want to say, a little bit longer. I don't know if that was the case, but on Strava it would log in at 26.49 miles. But the difference, I guess, I think the previous 3 times I ran it was just around 26.2, a little bit overshooting. But I think the difference between this year's marathon course is essentially at the finish. Instead of turning into Avenue of the Stars and literally the finish line being right there, this time we could actually see the finish line on Santa Monica Boulevard. So essentially we can actually see the finish line this time, so that's good. It helps a lot of runners know when to put in that last spurt. So I guess that was good on LA Marathon's part, but I don't know if that added distance. So thank you guys, and hopefully you guys will stick along for more of these running journeys and along with my overall running journey expedition. I don't know. Just finished the first day of marathon training. Today is day 4. Today is day 5. We're live. Hill sprint workout today. It's raining. A mile and a half left, so wrapping up my last mile. My last mile of the last long run. Almost there. What the hell? In the rain. That's day 1. Let's go. That's day 4. See ya. That's day 5. Finished my trap workouts. Just finished my 17-mile run. Finishes my 18-miler. Just finished my 19-mile long run today. Finished my last 20-mile long run. Wanted to end on a good spree. Dress rehearsals. Finished. Let's go. Let's go. Just finished my LA Marathon. Finished with a time of 3. I watched it like 3:17, so not quite 3:15, but I pushed hard at the end. It's okay. It was good. Good weather. Can't complain.